So I'm having a chat with Heather from Pale Waves. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thanks very much. First things first, let's talk about a brand new single of yours called Change. What can you tell us about the single?
So change is for the heartbroken. Change is for people that feel frustrated with other people in their lives, not living up to the high expectations that they set them, and watching people, fail to meet those expectations. It's about wanting, people to change.
Good, excellent. And that's off a brand new record of yours, your second album, out in February next year. What can people expect from the release?
Well, the album consists of various themes and various concepts. It speaks about society and how society sort of tries to make everyone the same, and society, how it's uncomfortable with, people that look different or, are different. And then it talks about what it's like to be a woman, mental health, body image, the euphoric side of love, the, dark side of love. So there's really a lot of different concepts throughout this album.
Yes, excellent. And how does this album sound compared to your debut and the EPs you previously released as well?
It's very drastically different, really. Our previous work was very indie, synth pop, very influenced by the 80s. However, with this second album, I really I was done. I was over that sound. I didn't want to do another record like that sound. As much as I enjoyed it at the time, I went back to my childhood roots, and I sort of stripped it back. There's a lot of, moments throughout this album where it's just me and an acoustic guitar. It's not very much dressed up in a lot of like twinkly synths anymore. The production's really stripped back too. So this is an album that I've sort of wrote for the childhood me.
Amazing. Excellent. And do you think that's how you might continue going on with any future releases and changing the sound ever so slightly each time?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like this album and this sound is very much me. I've really found my sort of sound and how it's how I always envisioned it, Kira had a massive, she was very hands-on with the first album, and they helped produce that first album, and they are very influenced by 80s music. So I didn't really have to, with the second album, I took more of an approach of I wrote a lot of it alone. So I didn't have to sort of work with another person's musical taste, which was really freeing, as Kira went off and produced a lot of other people. So it was a great break for us both.
Yes, excellent. And 2020 has been a strange year due to coronavirus, of course. How has it impacted on you and the music that you've done this year?
I know, it's been so, life-changing for a lot of people. I mean, even recording the album, we recorded it in two parts. And the first half we recorded it in LA, which was amazing. I love LA. And then we went on tour in Europe with Halsey, and then we flew back to LA to finish the album off. And that's when that's when the pandemic really sort of people started to realize how awful it was, and half of the band members flew back to England because they didn't want to get stuck in America, basically, because they had no, family there. And so I finished most of the album off, with just me, the producer, and Kira coming in now and again, and we basically finished the album in like masks and gloves. It was super strange, but an unforgettable experience.
Yes, excellent. And speaking of touring, you do enjoy being out on the road, and you've supported some big names over the last few years as well. How's the last few years touring been for you?
It's been, so amazing. I got to see so much of the world and play my music to various people around the globe, and it's an incredible feeling knowing that something that you wrote, that came from your mind, has gave you the ability to travel the world, and people show up, which is still insane to me, and it's still shocking. I'm like, wow, what are you doing here? It's so cool. But I was really ready for a break. We had consistently, toured right after when that first album came out, and it was nonstop. So I was really ready to sort of like take a break from touring and that lifestyle, because it can be very exhausting mentally and physically.
Yeah, definitely. And yes, as the album is out next year, I'm sure you'll be wanting to be back out on the road again. Have you got plans in place and ready to announce, or are you just waiting to see where the pandemic is before announcing and organising anything?
We have so many plans in place, and we have so many tours booked and so many shows, but they just keep getting knocked back. So we're not going to announce anything until we're pretty certain that we can do it, because I don't want to be, I don't want to announce something, put tickets on sale, everyone, gets them, and then you have to say, oh, by the way, we're changing it. It really sort of messes with people's schedules and stuff. So I didn't want to announce anything until we're sort of like certain that we can go through with it. But we have so many plans in place. Good. I just hope we get to do at least some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And is there anywhere that you haven't toured before that you do want to get to at some point?
Let me try and think. I've been to so many places. Like, so many places keep popping up in my head now, like Russia. I've been there. Australia, New Zealand. I've been there. I'd like to tour more of Asia. I always get DMs of people saying, come to Asia, we love you and all that. I'm trying to think where else I've not been. I've been to Europe so many times too.
Yeah.
I love touring America because it's, it's similar to our culture but different at the same time. It's not too different. So it's pretty much like I love touring there, and I can't wait to go back there. But I want to go everywhere. I want to see, as much as I can before I get old and can't tour anymore. I'm saying this, and I'm only 25.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, Heather, it's been great having a catch-up with you.
It's been lovely to talk to you too.